A $300,000 family home can be attainable on local salaries in one city and effectively unreachable in another. Factors beyond income dictate the result. Deposits, mortgage rates, property taxes, childcare, and commuting can turn an apparently cheap home into a decade-long struggle. Pittsburgh, Calgary, Glasgow, Madrid, Osaka, and Kuala Lumpur all offer lower prices than the world's superstar markets, but only some still provide a realistic middle-class path to ownership. So where can an ordinary working family genuinely buy without becoming financially trapped? Global property comparisons frequently create a misleading picture. A home priced at $250,000 in one country may appear more accessible than a $700,000 home in another. But analyzing real estate entirely through foreign exchange rates and nominal price tags ignores local reality. This graphic shows the median multiple, the local home price divided by median household income. A multiple near 3 historically indicates affordability. However, this ratio ignores critical variables. It provides no data on mortgage rates, required deposits, or the hidden cost of mandatory car ownership. True affordability exists as a complex ecosystem. A $500,000 home might be manageable under favorable financing and tax conditions, while a $250,000 home can financially suffocate a family if the ongoing carrying costs are hostile. To build a fair global stress test, we are standardizing the buyer. Our model uses a dual-income middle-class household with 2 children, earning a standard local professional salary. They have stable employment, a 20% deposit, and a conventional mortgage for a home with space for 4 people. This evaluation strictly excludes the foreign income perspective. We are not calculating for remote digital nomads, American expats leveraging a strong dollar, or global executive salaries. By focusing entirely on local buying power, we isolate the exact friction a locally employed family faces when trying to convert a standard paycheck into long-term housing stability. In Pittsburgh, the baseline numbers look excellent. A representative family home costs between $250,000 and $350,000. Against a dual-income professional household earning up to $130,000, that creates an accessible price-to-income ratio of roughly 2 to 4. With a 20% deposit of $60,000, the base mortgage payment is highly manageable for a family taking home around $7,000 a month. However, Pennsylvania property taxes vary significantly by locality, and Pittsburgh area districts often impose heavy municipal and school taxes. When combined with the maintenance risks of older housing stock, where a low purchase price can conceal serious structural or plumbing expenses, the real monthly housing bill scales up quickly. Glasgow shows a similarly strong local income relationship. A modest family house or flat costs roughly $220,000 to $350,000. For a dual-income household earning up to $110,000 before tax, a complete multi-bedroom home remains attainable on local professional wages. Yet Glasgow carries its own hidden financial pressures. Many urban flats are held under shared building arrangements, meaning roof and exterior repairs create sudden collective expenses. Older masonry homes often have weak insulation, turning winter energy consumption into a major affordability variable. Buyers must also navigate Scotland's unique property transaction tax system, which adds a variable upfront cash burden depending on first-time buyer status and the final purchase price. In both of these cities, a low headline price does not erase the financial weight of homeownership. The burden simply shifts away from the bank's mortgage interest and into the hands of local tax authorities, energy providers, and structural repairmen. Calgary presents a different problem. While local household earnings are unusually strong, often reaching $160,000 for a dual-income professional family, rapid population growth has pushed family homes into the $450,000 to $650,000 range. This has eroded the city's reputation for easy affordability. The primary barrier here is the deposit. A $500,000 property requires a $100,000 cash deposit, which can take years to save while paying market rent. Once purchased, the suburban design of the city creates high car dependency, mandating thousands of dollars in annual spending on fuel, insurance, and winter maintenance. In Madrid, this scorecard illustrates how a moderate global price tag clashes with local economics. A suitable family apartment costs roughly $350,000 to $550,000, but with local dual-income households earning around $65,000 to $95,000, the price-to-income ratio climbs to a dangerous 5 to 8 times gross earnings. While a $400,000 central apartment may look inexpensive to an international buyer, it consumes a massive share of local take-home pay. This steep ratio essentially forces many local buyers to rely on multi-generational support, living with parents to save or receiving direct help with the deposit, just to enter the market. Excellent transit and high urban quality of life are meaningless if the upfront deposit hurdle and raw income ratio permanently block average local earners from signing a deed. Osaka provides one of the clearest routes from salary to ownership. Family apartments are priced between $250,000 and $450,000, maintaining a manageable ratio against local professional incomes. Favorable local financing conditions mean a $260,000 mortgage yields a base monthly payment considerably lower than in higher-rate countries. But Japanese homeownership carries mandatory systemic costs. Condominium owners face strict monthly management fees, rising repair reserve contributions as buildings age, and complex depreciation curves, where the structure loses value independently of the land. Finally, look at Kuala Lumpur. The nominal property prices are incredibly low by global standards, with family condominiums available from $150,000 to $350,000. A foreign worker can access a premium lifestyle here with ease. However, a local middle-class household earning $35,000 to $65,000 annually faces a different reality. The cheapest properties are often in oversupplied outskirts, far from employment centers, creating a mandatory dependence on car travel that eats away at disposable income. This demonstrates that a globally cheap market can still be locally punishing if wages don't scale to match the quality and location of family-appropriate housing. To see exactly how these markets compare, we can chart the absolute cash required for a 20% deposit on a representative family home across all 6 cities, but nominal figures are deceptive. A $45,000 cash requirement in Kuala Lumpur is a much heavier lift for a household earning $45,000 a year than a $100,000 deposit is for a Calgary household earning $150,000. The true test begins once the purchase is final. This chart shows the total monthly burden. The bottom layer is the base principal and interest payment. The upper layers stack property tax, condo fees, insurance, structural maintenance, and essential transit costs. Notice how the visible tip of the mortgage in places like Pittsburgh or Calgary is heavily outweighed by the ongoing, unavoidable carrying costs operating just beneath the surface. Measuring a housing market purely by its headline price virtually guarantees financial stress. Genuine affordability is calculated entirely through total monthly friction against local take-home pay. When we stress test these cities using strictly local salaries, they divide into 3 clear categories. This matrix ranks ownership viability based on local professional wages. Pittsburgh, Glasgow, and Osaka offer the strongest local salary path. These markets maintain a recognizable mathematical connection between ordinary professional incomes and family home prices, provided buyers account for local taxes, fees, and maintenance. Calgary and Kuala Lumpur are viable primarily for upper-middle-income local households who can clear severe deposit and commute barriers. Madrid stands out as the most difficult. Purchase prices there generally require external family wealth to bridge the gap. Naturally, specific life variables change this math. A household with student loans, a single income, or childcare expenses for 2 young children will instantly lose significant borrowing capacity, shifting their position on this matrix. Success in a middle-class housing market depends on whether an ordinary worker can save the deposit, carry the monthly payment, and maintain financial stability. Simply finding a home under $500,000 is insufficient. Your net worth is only half the story. Money Map. We ask where your money works.